close to 25 to 30% of our audience is doctors. I haven't seen any other profession as interested in points and miles as doctors.
It's just a distraction probably for most of us instead of all the gloomy stuff we see on day-to-day basis. Last year I did the Red Bull Ring in Austria. It's one of the most beautiful tracks.
Let's compare the Red Bull Ring and let's compare Spa.
The property is never about the property. The property is about the people. But never fly business class on 777. यार middle में कौन बैठेगा business class में यार? You have DBS Vantage.
Yeah, I do.
Why do you have DBS Vantage?
Yeah, the best thing about DBS I still have is because there's zero exclusions other than fuel. And in Singapore, zero Forex. And there are some milestones as well. City called Longyearbyen, throughout the year inhabited place. It's around 80 degrees north. You see a lot of polar bears from the boat. The bears usually come and to check out what is this. Then we can see it up close from the ship.
Curious about is how many holidays do you get? Yeah? Normally, लोग मेरे को पूछते हैं ये.
Flashing bright, we're on the go. Tune in now, there's so much to know. Earning bits, travel dreams we sow. All aboard the great Indian Points and Miles show. Zero to hero in the blink of an eye. Fly first class, no need to be shy. Redemption sweet, touching the sky. Award seats booked, let's give it a try. Award seats booked, let the points flow. It's all aboard the great Indian Points and Miles show. Unlocking journeys wherever you go. The sky's the limit, feel the travel mojo.
Hello and welcome back to the Great Indian Points and Miles show, where we talk about credit cards, loyalty programs, and how to travel like a king without paying like one. Today we've got a very exciting episode lined up. We've got someone from our own Discord community, the Great Indian Lounge, and we've been interacting with him for a while now. He's known as Robbie Mahanta on Discord, but most of us accidentally used to call him Robin without looking at the N that is part of his handle. Later discovered that his name is Saurav. He's based in Bangalore and he's a doctor at one of the most iconic hospitals here. As a doctor, he's not only into healthcare and helping people live a better life, but he travels a fair bit. Think about driving all the way from Bangalore to Tibet. Think about traveling to the Amazon rainforests. Think about covering more than 3 Formula One races and someone who has a plan to cover a lot more. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing you to Saurav. Saurav, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Aadil and Dhimant. It's great to be honored to be here. And you guys are doing such a great job. Lovely to be here. Yeah.
Pleasure. With Saurav, like always, we have our co-host and dost, Adarniya Dhimant ji, the guy who's most recently acquired One World Sapphire. कैसा लग रहा है भाई?
अच्छा लग रहा है. वन मोर बोलते हैं ना, हमारे लिए तो वही है मेडल जो हम लगाते हैं हमारे यूनिफॉर्म पे, बिकॉज वी डोंट हैव एनी अदर यूनिफॉर्म्स टू वेयर. But on a serious note, Saurav, I think thank you so much for coming in. I think like Aadil described you, and Aadil's way of describing is generally the grandest possible. But I don't think words can do justice to what you do as an individual. Like I was very excited. So like fun fact, like the Discord community has so many amazing people on it. वही एक gold mine है. So I keep kind of sometimes chatting with people on DM. So Saurav was one of those people who never replied to me on Discord DMs. So again, I understand it because Discord ka DMs are a little more discreet and they don't pop up like other DMs. So finally one day he messaged me back on Instagram saying कि यार कुछ तो इशू है, तो ये कैसे करूँ? तो मैंने बोला यार ये तो वही बंदा है. तो पहले मैं बोला कि भाई तुम पहले डिस्कॉर्ड के डीएम को रिप्लाई करो, उसके बाद मैं तुमको हेल्प करूँगा. एंड दैट्स हाउ वी एंडेड अप काइंड ऑफ प्लानिंग फॉर दिस एपिसोड. सो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर कमिंग इन. रियली लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू अनपैक सम ऑफ द स्टोरीज दैट वी चैटेड अबाउट, that we have spoken about, but bringing it to the larger audience and it will be fun.
Definitely, yeah, thanks. Yeah, I had just turned off Discord notifications and I missed it completely. And then suddenly I see one day messaging and Dhimant reply karo yaar. Then I just replied to him and that's how it worked out. But glad to be here. I am a fan of the show and really looking forward to sharing whatever best I can.
Thank you so much.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about the structure today. आज क्या बात करेंगे? So obviously we'll talk about the 3 or 4 iconic experiences that you've had, driving all the way to
Definitely.
Tibet. We'll talk about your rainforest experience. We'll talk about your wildlife photography experience. We'll also talk about your F1 experience, F1 experiences rather. But in addition to that, what is also very interesting for the viewers is the cards that make all of this happen behind the scenes. And you've got a bunch of statuses also. So you've got a bunch of credit cards, which are the top cards. You've got ICICI Emirates, you've got ICICI EPM, you've got the HSBC Premier, and you've got a bunch others that we'll discuss in the rest of the episode. But then you also have Emirates Gold, you have One World Sapphire, you have Accor Diamond, you have ITC Gold, and you've got a bunch more, which we'll also talk to. What we'll be very curious to understand is, how does this year look like for you? What role is what status playing where? And then how do you kind of make the most of it? So we'll talk through all of that. But let's start with what you've done in the past. Let's start with Bangalore to Tibet in a car. How did this happen? When did this happen? What car did you drive? What was it like? Let's get into it.
Right. I mean, this came up suddenly. Some of my friends, I've done a lot of few cross-country trips in India. We did west to east. Usually people do Kanyakumari to Kashmir, but we have done that. And then we did Koteshwar in Gujarat to Kaho in Arunachal, which was the extreme westernmost to the easternmost point. And then this came up with one of our car driving groups. Then we can actually drive to Tibet from Bangalore. So then we signed up, and there was a lot of planning, a lot of permits, a lot of, organizationally, logistic issues. Then finally it happened, and we went through Nepal, crossed Nepal into Tibet, and all the way to Lhasa. It was a group of around 7 cars, mostly off-road, high ground clearance vehicles, especially for the Nepal sector, because those roads are not that great at all. I mean, in India, obviously, it's pretty straightforward, all the way to Gorakhpur, and then cross across into Nepal, and then finally into Tibet. Tibet had amazing roads, and you can drive almost any car, pretty much any car there, but they have very strict rules, and we are driving right-hand drive vehicles in a left-hand drive country. So we were escorted by one of their local guides. He was leading, and we were going in a convoy. And there was a great experience, and we could almost drive to the Everest base camp from the Tibet side. We were almost there. I mean, you can see Everest. We parked our Indian cars with Everest in the background and all that. It was, overall a great experience. And coming to utilizing points or miles in that trip, usually in these kind of trips, what we usually do is, we stopped in Nagpur, in Gwalior, and small Indian cities, wherever, as we are traversing. So we look for Accor and Marriott, obviously. That's what comes into minds. And in tier 2 or smaller towns and cities, Accor and even Marriott in Les Meridians and all gives great redemptions. So we, on the fly, used to book. Sometimes using points, and because of the status, obviously you get upgraded and all that. So that was the only benefit, because the rest of it was mostly driving. And Lhasa had a Saint Regis, so that was amazing. So Lhasa, Tibet, I didn't expect it. It has the Saint Regis. It was amazing. And there is another in Shigatse, it is called, in Tibet. There Hilton was there. So those two.
It's actually, I think, quite sad that I think abhi thoda Tibet jana mushkil ho gaya, I think, because of the whole political tension. But it's great to hear that there are great redemption options there.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't think we have enough time to cover every trip of yours, but Saurav has written some amazing trip reports. I think you should leave it in the description for people who are interested to go through it in detail. I think you write on Team BHP.
Yeah, right? I do. It's automotive forum mainly, but we do a lot of travel-oriented stuff as well there.
One question I have for you is specifically when you plan these trips, like, is there a card planning that you also do कि मुझे ये cards carry करना है, या by default हो जाता है? Like,
usually I carry 3 or 4 cards, and depends if it's a direct hotel. Sometimes I used to use mostly it's Atlas, trying to get to that 7.5 lakhs or whatever, the 15 lakhs also maybe. Sometimes you whatever the mile, then you move to another card. So it's a bunch of cards which we take. I don't have a preset plan in mind. It's a little flexible. So yeah, but mainly is your obviously Accor and Infinia points or Atlas points or Magnus Burgundy points, and keep shuttling them across the airlines and hotels.
So you said you got upgraded, and that's interesting. Particularly in Bonvoy, your Bonvoy Gold, right? At Saint Regis also you got upgraded. And what category of upgrade was that?
We did, I think it was a single category upgrade, the kind of room we booked and just one category above that. But nevertheless, it was some,
I think ये वाला वो जो saying है जो हम लोग आपस में बोलते रहते हैं काफ़ी बार, right? When everybody is gold, nobody is gold. I think one of the differences, key differences between Accor and Marriott has been this, right? Because it's been so easy to get Accor Gold now that by default, like when somebody asks me, because we get a lot of DMs and we do consulting calls every day almost, right? So when we get these calls, like you're like, should I expect an upgrade when I'm Accor Gold? So मैं तो सबको बोलता हूँ कि अगर आपको कोई specific, if you want a specific kind of a room, don't bank upon an upgrade, take that room.
Score the room,
हाँ. Otherwise, if you are like me, like I don't never generally look for, unless it's a scenic property where you want a sea view or whatever. Sea view, I am a sucker for sea view. So sea view है तो मैं ले लेता हूँ because I don't depend upon the upgrade. But if it's a mountain view, for example, तो I'll skip it. I'll say कि यार that excitement of saying कि क्या मुझे वो upgrade मिल रहा है.
Correct.
वो I go for that and I go for the base room. Like that's my.
I think a little depends on the property and the dates as well. So how much occupied they are, and if it's a busy, very popular hotel, maybe it's tricky. Depends on the status, and there are many platinum ahead of you. I mean, most of the Marriotts now put a board outside. I mean, the reception as well. Then you see, oh, there are already so many platinums. So, but some hotels.
औकात मालूम पड़ जाती है.
So it works.
But ये अच्छा point है, right? Like for example. Even if you're going to Golfshire in Bangalore, right?
मैं अभी बोलने वाला था the unofficial ambassador of Golfshire, Aadil बंदूकवाला, will have. Go ahead. I'll not steal your thunder.
Value crazy है मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ because right now like if you look at April May, right, 25,000 points में you should be able to get a night. I mean sure dynamic pricing, so sometimes 30, 35 also, but if you book decently in advance 25k is doable. What's very interesting is sometimes for 35k you'll get a suite. The difference is just about 10k, right? And even there also, I don't mind sometimes mixing cash and points rate. For example, I have used 25,000 points and 7,000 cash to score a suite. And not only that, what happens with that is if you get a suite, you get lounge access complimentary, which solves for my dinner, which for a family with 2 kids can be extremely powerful, right? And that is a great points trade-off if you're mixing cash and points. But otherwise, even if you're not mixing cash and points, 35,000 or 40,000 points at Golfshire. And then what happens is, because you're gold, if you score a 1-level upgrade, which is a 2 BHK suite, then that's even better. It just pays off so much more. But like Dhimant said, I'm a fan of, अगर कोई special occasion है, risk नहीं लेना है, just book the damn thing, pay the extra points. It's very worth it. There's no point having butterflies in your stomach.
मतलब imagine करो कि तुम किसी का birthday celebrate करने आ रहे हो, बोल रहे हो कि यार मेरे upgrade से मुझे मिल जाएगा upgrade.
Exactly.
I'm not going to do that, man. I mean, it's not worth it. But I have a very interesting story that I wanted to just add on because you spoke about Prestige Golfshire. This happened with me, right? So I've been there again 4 or 5 times thanks to the brand ambassador of Prestige Golfshire, and he told me that there's a great lounge, right? So every time I look forward to they offering me the lounge, but unfortunately what happens is because I go on the weekends generally, he goes on the weekdays, तो मुझे कभी भी नहीं मिला. So this time I was a little adamant. I said कि it's okay, I understand that I'm not offered the lounge. I would like to see the lounge so that we can capture some of the content in our reels or whatever, right? When I went there, I realized that how crowded it was. And that is when it struck me that these guys are really smart. They know when to offer the gold lounge. So I think a lot of people actually when they go to such properties, they take it on their ego. कि यार मुझे क्यों नहीं मिला? Like I think you should just leave it to the hotels. Most hotels want to give some experience to their Marriott Bonvoy members. They always try, right? मतलब अगर उनका suite खाली है, वो दे देते हैं अपग्रेड.
Exactly.
मतलब बट आई थिंक यू शुड नॉट बी टू डिमांडिंग सेइंग कि यार ये क्या है, मतलब मेरा मैं गोल्ड मेंबर हूँ, लाइक वो आई थिंक इट डजंट वर्क. आदिल,
discretion eventually if it's too crowded, and they obviously want to give you a good experience, and you don't want to go into a lounge which is very crowded. And
which is why my recommendation always, right? Never travel on weekends. Always go on weekdays. I know by default, chutti is on weekends. It's optimal for most people. But अगर experience अच्छा चाहिए, the other thing that I've learned is the property is never about the property. The property is about the people.
yeah, 100%.
It's always about the people. You treat people well, they will treat you well. You act snobbish, Even if you were going to get an upgrade, you'll get downgraded. Because it's really about people.
Perfect example. You had sent me some number from Prestige Golfshire, right? I reached out to that person saying, I'm coming and this is my dates and this is the occasion. And imagine karo, I mean the planning that they didn't upgrade offer nahi kiya. When I went there, they told me that, okay, we are upgrading you to the PlayStation wala suite. That's a family suite which has a PlayStation. And then she told me, she said, we purposefully did not tell you we are upgrading you because we wanted you to enjoy the moment when you tell you that. It's so thoughtful. Right? मतलब वो अगर तुम गाड़ी में जाते वक्त आपको पता है कि आप upgrade होने वाले हो, then the fun is not that.
So there are two ways they do this, Dhimant. So the one way is like, you got in touch with her and then she said ki I didn't tell you because I wanted to surprise you.
Correct.
The other, so this is a human-based intervention when it happens, right? There's also a direct app-based intervention. When you book it directly in the app and you've not contacted the hotel.
Correct.
About 6 to 10 hours before checking in, if you open up your app, it automatically shows that you've been upgraded. So the base category room will move to a higher category room and we say, holy shit, I've already been upgraded to a suite.
Like
Never happens in Accor. Never. Marriott mein, you just are curious. Check-in time kya hai? 3 baje hai, 12 baje hai. So you opened up the app to see. And you're like, wow, I'm upgraded. So that is like customer delight and I think like Marriott shows.
Yeah, थोड़ा सा disagree करता हूँ Accor पे, but yeah, मतलब my experience has been slightly different.
Accor, you will get upgraded when you go to the hotel. It doesn't show you on the app.
Yeah, it doesn't show you in the app.
I'm talking about the app-based customer delight. So obviously, hamara status aisa, the kind of statuses we've accrued now on Accor, every time you go there is customer delight. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm saying the
app
tech that they have built, right? Marriott's tech is way better.
Yeah, agreed. Sorry, you were saying something about Emirates.
Yeah, they do that. The color changes.
ये तुमको पहले बोला था ना आदिल ने कि Emirates का तुम बोलना, मैं नहीं बोलूँगा. ये तूने बोला था.
I mean, I was a hardcore Emirates friend for a long time. So, I mean, coincidentally, it's...
I am not the solo Emirates fan in the room.
Yeah,
so Saurav, let's talk, because you brought it up. Let's talk about your love affair with Emirates.
Yeah, I love Emirates. Often, most of my international travel westwards is through Emirates, and often at times because of the status, at least the Dubai sector, I get upgraded on its own. And usually for the other sector, whichever connecting flight, be it Europe or North America, I usually use points, and sometimes I request. It sometimes works out, sometimes it doesn't. But overall, it has been great. I have no thing. And Emirates, even the economy in Emirates has probably the largest seat pitch, or the leg room is the highest among all airlines. I mean, I think it's Japan Airlines as well, also JAL, which is also a code share often with Qantas also. So it works out both ways, both directions, and if you combine. So,
but just to bring some balance to this, I feel one of the things, I feel if there was one feedback that I would have for Emirates is, like, it just feels like when you go from here to Dubai and then Dubai to onwards, it just feels I'm flying two different airlines. Like, I mean, it just doesn't do justice. The India leg, I mean, the aircrafts are not up to the mark here. I genuinely feel.
No, disagree. If you're flying the A380, there is no difference. So I have said this and I say it repeatedly.
So tell me, where does the A380 fly from India? Like, or only Bangalore?
No, Bombay also.
But is it always the A380? No.
So there are 3 flights in a day.
Which one should people take?
From Bangalore, there are 3 flights in a day. So EK 568 and 569. That is what you have to take, because that is your A380. And when you are booking, right, आप कहीं से भी book करो. I suggest, just to experience Emirates, try booking via the Emirates
100%,
website
100%.
or the Emirates app. It is
100%,
gorgeous.
100%.
The UI UX is amazing. Also, it shows you A380 hai, 777 hai, whatever it is. Never take the 777.
Yeah. The report is horrendous, bro. It's totally horrendous.
The only reason I would take the 777, if at all I am flying the first class suites, these are the game changer suites, which don't come with the partition till here. They come till the partition till the ceiling.
Okay, got it.
That
it's like
is
a room.
the advantage.
It's like a room, fully room.
Yeah, but never fly business class on 777, because it's a 2-3-2 configuration. So, you know, you'll have 3 seats in the center. Yaar, middle mein kaun baithega business class mein, yaar. But say if you think about the A380, they're so thoughtfully designed. Even if you're sitting, so it's a 1-to-1 configuration. And 2, obviously there are windows. But even these 2, if you're in the middle seats, you have windows that show you the sky.
Fair.
They have these, I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
what tech they've built, but they're beautiful.
Artificial windows
Yeah,
kind of.
it's amazing how they've kind of built that. So always fly the A380s, you'll never have a problem on the A380s. So that's why you have the card. That's why
Yeah.
you're putting 15 lakh rupees a year, renewing your gold status every year.
So that's the reason, one of the reasons. I mean, it gives now sometimes often 10% discount on fare
Correct.
as well. Yeah, because there's some code,
ICIN 5.
something,
Yeah.
And now they have started this cash plus points
Correct.
discounts until 2027, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Until March it is running that offer. So yeah, so those
Doc,
are
you also have Skywards Plus?
No, I
Or
have
you
not.
haven't?
Yeah, I have
Okay.
seen you talking about it, but till now I have not tried it out yet. Skywards Plus, yeah, the middle tier is good, is what I have heard. But I have not personally. I have not tried it. So yeah, let's see if.
Let's talk a little bit about doctors and their love for points and miles. Because close to 25 to 30% of our audience, believe it or not, is doctors. There are so many doctors that we meet in person, that we meet over dinner, that we meet at our events, Flight Mode and Miles Ahead, Discord community, like you're very active, you see.
Yeah.
This is a large percent. I haven't seen any other profession as interested in points and miles as doctors. Like, what's this?
CAs, lawyers, but doctors is like the big cohort.
Yeah,
CAs and lawyers are other.
even tech people,
Yeah.
but doctors is like unparalleled.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think this has started recently. In last few years, it has blown out. I mean, after COVID probably. But yeah, in our hospital groups also, there are a lot of people discussing. It's just a distraction probably for most of us. That there's something else that, okay, let's figure, instead of all the gloomy stuff we see on day-to-day basis. But yeah, there are a lot of people, they'll do a lot of interesting travel, adventure stuff, and they basically optimizations where it is possible. I am not really sure why the doctor per se is.
I will put a hypothesis on the table.
बताओ.
Doctors लोग इतना पढ़ाई करते हो nerd बन जाते हैं.
that's
हो सकता है they like the nerdiness of the points and miles game. Again, this is a hypothesis,
Yeah,
and that's why
could be,
engineers
could
and
be.
tech guys also like it.
Yeah, could
I
be,
mean,
because it's like
possibility.
you just want to figure out how to, what is it, something interesting. which is,
जीतना है हमको बस किसी भी
No,
तरह से.
the other thing I've figured out is a lot of my doctor friends love traveling.
Yeah, that is for
And
sure.
when-
That is
and
for
when-
sure,
because
yeah.
they love traveling,
More likely.
And
once they get introduced to it, right, there's no going back. And as humans, you always want to elevate your experience. These, I mean, cards obviously help you elevate your experience pro max. So it just helps there.
And it just one person tells the other, your colleague, and then he gets the experience, and he tells, that just goes on and on. Even my wife initially was not at all interested in these. I mean, I used to harass her, like, oh, voucher lo, ye karo, wo karo, and then she used to get fed up. And
मैं
now,
आज ही सुबह को झगड़ा करके आ रहा हूँ, बोला एक कार्ड एक्टिवेट मैं बोला 30 दिन हो जाएगा कार्ड एक्टिवेट कर लो
so
एक्टिवेट ही नहीं किया कार्ड
then
कौन सा
I-
गाड़ी?
ये स्विगी का वो LTF ऑफर आया था तो she took the स्विगी कार्ड
Then I used to give her Fab India vouchers through some other cards, and some random shopping vouchers and all. Then she got hooked into it, and then yeah, now she's also actively trying to optimize to some extent as much as possible. Yeah.
Let's talk about the Amazon rainforest. How did this happen? When was this? Talk about the route. Talk about how the idea germinated, points, non-points, everything.
Right. So this is actually a wetland called Pantanal in Brazil, which is very similar to the Amazon rainforest, but this is actually a wetland. So I have a fair amount of travel, which is wildlife photography related. So we met through some friends. We said we will go there, and this has been quite some time now. And so we arranged again, went through the internet, found out that these guys are doing the trip there. If you spend a week there in the Amazon wetlands, and mainly the idea of the trip was to see jaguars. So those are the main attraction in that area. So Emirates, we flew to.
was it a redemption or like point
Not really a redemption. One sector was a business class upgrade, but it was not a full redemption. Dubai to Sao Paulo, and from Sao Paulo
That's a great redemption. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
so-
long leg.
a long
Why
leg,
not? Yeah.
Then from Sao Paulo, we took a local flight, LATAM, if I'm not sure, to a place called Cuiabá. And from there, it was an off-road, kind of like a truck, which had some seats in the back. And we went all the way to the Amazon, there's a riverways, where we stayed on a boat for 6 nights. And then we took a small boat and we used to go around the waterways searching for wildlife, be it like giant river otters, jaguars, fishing, killing caimans, which are the small rocks there. And yeah, it was amazing fun. It was very different than what most people experience, and I was lucky to be there and see so many jaguars.
So these are all solo trips, or like do you also travel with family for such
I
trips?
do take my wife along, not for these kinds. She's not much into these extreme kind of trips. So, but we do. I mean, take my wife around for trips to Europe, and we did Singapore redemptions and routine European trips and all that. Yeah.
So this is with a group of
This
similar
is mostly a
enthusiasts.
group of photographers who are or nature lovers who are keen on seeing something different or.
तो
go
ये बताओ
some-
कैसा लगता है जब आपके साथ जो लोग जा रहे हैं, तुम बिजनेस क्लास में बैठे हो और वो लोग इकोनॉमी में आ रहे हैं, like how does that feel?
No,
Any
you
message you want to give them?
Not really. We don't usually travel together. We just meet. Suppose, I mean, for this particular trip, we all met in Sao Paulo. So it didn't matter from who came from where. So. we
But I'm
just-
sure you had some experience like that.
Yeah, but now most of them are also into the same kind of thing. So they also try to optimize. A lot of people move to Flying Blue and they do Air France because Air France flies to Sao Paulo as well.
Oh, lovely.
So direct
Lovely,
flights are there
that's
from,
nice.
and France is anyway direct from Bangalore. So you do Bangalore, Paris, Sao Paulo also. So that is also an on-option.
Plus Group B.
Yeah, Group B, Infinia, and there are more options for that. So yeah, even I am thinking the current Middle East scenario to
With, Flying
try Flying Blue, yeah, for next. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about another aspect of your life. You're wearing a McLaren t-shirt. We're recording early March. Yesterday, Hamilton and Leclerc were P1 and P2 in free practice.
Free practice one, yeah.
Yeah, so Ferrari.
Opium.
So
Opium.
so Ferrari dominating free practice.
Yeah.
You, I know the guy in the yellow shirt who's not in a red shirt today bleeds red, but you're a McLaren fan?
I am a McLaren fan, not the McLaren drivers fan currently, but yeah, I mean, grew up as a Michael fan from his Benetton days, and then with the fights with Mika Häkkinen, Damon Hill, through Ferrari. Then I was a Vettel fan with Red Bull, and then now actually a Red Bull Max fan. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, I follow F1 religiously from the late 90s or maybe even early 90s. So.
मैं तो जिस भी ग्रुप में एग्जिस्ट करता हूँ, like just like he just mentioned the combination of drivers that he follows, like everybody asks me, तू कौन सा fan है, किस चीज़ का fan है? Then I have to explain people that I am a hardcore Ferrari fan. Unfortunately, like whatever the performance has been, you haven't have enough good years. But Max has kind of reinvigorated that. So I'm a big Max fan, largely because of his ability to reply back with his driving and not with his words. Like I love the way his attitude and his winning mentality. But like I'm also curious to know, when you say McLaren, is it the F1 McLaren team or like largely the McLaren sports?
Yeah, not exactly F1 McLaren. I used to like Häkkinen those days also. So Häkkinen was I was a fan. Then Michael Häkkinen, there's a clash obviously in between, and didn't know where to go. But now I'm more of a McLaren as a car company fan than a F1 team
Thought
fan.
so. Because a lot of people I know are McLaren car fans, and they're like, we are not Lando fans. Please don't misjudge us. Like I just want to be clear with it as well. But like, tell me, which all F1 tracks have you done? Obviously, me and Aadil did the Singapore. I think a lot of our audience already knows that. But tell us a lot, and would love to hear one redemption idea in any of the tracks that you did.
Right. I mean, Singapore, obviously, a lot of people do it, and even I did it in redemption with SQ. And
So you flew SQ Business
SQ.
from Bangalore to Singapore to back.
Singapore back, and then Accor Fairmont.
You stayed in Fairmont, okay.
And then did the race, came back. So that was pretty
Which year
much.
was this?
This was around 3 years back. 2 years back.
nice.
Yeah, just after they started after COVID, I think 22 or 23.
Perfect.
And then, last year I did the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Which was, I mean, it's one of the most beautiful tracks in the world with the hills in the background and whatnot. So I again did Emirates to Vienna, Dubai, Vienna sector I selected, booked economy, but economy flex I had booked. So then you can choose the points, which sector to upgrade. So chose the points, and that got upgraded. And Dubai, Bangalore, obviously, it gets, for some reason, I've been very lucky. 80% of the time it gets upgraded.
ये सुना लग रहा है.
And then, and the near the track near the Red Bull Ring, this always gets sold out. It's impossible to get a hotel. Most of the tracks in European is like that. So I stayed in Vienna, in Grand Mercure, in Vienna downtown. And took a rental car, we drove up and down every day.
How far is the track?
It was around 200 kilometers one way.
wow.
Yeah, so
That's
it's far, but but in Europe, it's not like whatever Google says, its map says that's it. It is. There's no surprises.
Not Bangalore kind of Google.
Yeah,
मतलब सरजापुर में अगर Google डालोगे तो मतलब.
सरजापुर हमारा.
So it was very fun and a lovely drive also. So every day we used to go. The race was in the afternoon local time. So early morning we used to start. We used to stop, see some nice places en route, and then eventually reach, take the race, come back, take a different route while coming back. And
How was the
Austria is
experience
beautiful.
of that entire? I feel that it's part of the experience is also seeing the Orange Army, because Max's support in that it would have been crazy, like all the orange smoke going up. And
It was crazy. I mean, unfortunately, it was a McLaren 1-2, or I think in a race last year. But obviously the fans, the experience in a European race, it's way different than I've done Bahrain, Singapore, and all. But the European races are something else.
I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's a very short lap.
Yeah, very short lap.
And it's very physically daunting because it has like a elevation and
some of the races in the tracks, when you're watching on TV, you don't see the elevation changes.
Yeah, correct.
So, but when you're there, you literally see
The
how
banking
much
and the banking physics
climbing,
at
and
play.
So this year also I'm planning of the iconic tracks, Spa.
You're going Spa this year?
Yeah,
Oh man, this is
so
my bucket
that,
list.
and Oruj, I've got a ticket for Oruj. It's the famous corner in Spa. So
Help me understand this. Let's compare the Red Bull Ring and let's compare Spa. How much budget do you need? Tell us the flight redemption or whatever the cost and the cost of the track tickets itself. Like how much should we plan for?
Tickets is a little variable because you want which part of the track you
That
want
is
to
Aruj,
sit.
right? Because that's the...
So Aruj, I booked, then you can book 3-day tickets the
3-day
weekend.
ticket,
Yeah, so that was around 50K for the 3-day ticket. And then obviously flights, I have chosen Emirates again, and near the track again, because Spa is somewhere between the German and the Belgian border.
Yes.
So I have actually booked a flight to Dusseldorf.
Okay.
So from Bangalore, Dubai, Dusseldorf, and from there I've rented a car, and we will be staying in Cologne. So from Cologne we'll be driving again up and down. It's not too far from there. And they have Accor obviously. So I booked Novotel in Cologne downtown.
So did you take the Belgian visa or the German visa?
No, I have a long-term Schengen.
You have a long-term Schengen visa.
So I have a 5-year Schengen. So it's from France, but been using that for quite some time. So so then, and I am also planning to drive down to the Nürburgring, which has been a dream for a long time. So
I think Nürburgring also offers you to be able to drive on the track.
You're not supposed to drive regular rental cars. You're not allowed, but you can rent specific cars near the ring. They have this rent for a ring, or there are a lot of companies. So where you can rent a car and then you can do the Nürburgring. Like per lap they charge you some insurance deposit. It's a standard process, and then you can come as many laps as you want, depending on you can come back. Yeah.
So that was the Spa. What about the Red Bull Ring? Like where did you?
Yeah, Red Bull Ring. Like I said, I stayed in Vienna.
And
then we drove.
Grand Mercure, right? You said?
Yeah, Grand Mercure in Vienna downtown. So we reached and we did the city, walked around. It was very close to the city center, the hotel. And then most of these places,
Grand Mercures are priced at what, like 10,000 points? Like how much is the per night?
Yeah, it is maybe little more than that. Novotel is little cheaper. Grand Mercure is around 10 to 15K, I think, or something around those times. But it depends on the season again. Obviously,
Understood.
A lot of people travel in those days, F1 wala period, and then that's summer also. So Red Bull Ring was in end of June or July, early July or something around those times. So that is a peak travel season there, so in Europe. So that again, little fluctuations are there because availability and all.
Perfect.
But with the status, another good thing is I can book last moment. I almost always get a room.
Yeah.
So that is a big
That's a
benefit.
very underrated feature.
That's a big benefit, especially with Diamond. I've seen now it is. I mean, I've never had that. They always say also there that just because you're there, you. Otherwise, if I check from someone else's app, they say no rooms available. But if I check, it shows it.
Also, one thing I've seen with Accor is that when I went for the Hokkaido Snow Festival, Sapporo Snow Festival this time, not only was I given a guaranteed room because the hotel was full, they also did not charge me a penny extra because the hotel is full. Like for example, I still ended up paying 9,000 for one night, which is insane. Like आपको guaranteed room मिल रहा है और ऐसा नहीं कि आपको बोल रहे हैं सबसे महंगा suite लो. If the room is available or they make it available, they will make it available whichever room is available. Right? So love that feature. Have to love that.
Good. I mean, but Europe you don't really get good. I mean, crazy perks like in what you get in Southeast Asia, Asia Pacific. But still, I mean, they honored a weekend breakfast and they give some amount of credit also. I forgot exactly what amount. I think 10 euro, some 100 euros credit they give.
Yeah.
And upgrades, but upgrades are pretty much certain after when you are
Diamond.
Diamond, I think,
So one of the things I want to talk about, Aadil, is how the US experience with Accor has been. And I think there's been fed this narrative that Southeast Asia is crazy, India is crazy with Accor, especially if you have status. But my experience was very different. So I'm going to talk about New York, Washington, Philadelphia and Miami, and all four were consistent. मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि one off है. So I'll tell you how they think about status. One, I think they go by the rules. So आपको Southeast Asia में they sometimes tell you कि okay, we are offering you free breakfast. अगर वहाँ पे rule है कि free breakfast नहीं मिलता है, they will not give it to you. Clear. And I didn't go with that expectation because I had very little expectations, to be honest. But almost everywhere, the room upgrade was guaranteed. Right? So, and again, when I went there, I did not have to say anything. First thing they tell you is, sir, because you are a member, gold member, platinum member, whatever member, we are offering you upgrade. Number one, they were very, very liberal on checkout and check-in times. So, I'll give you an example. New York. I was upgraded to the topmost floor of Sofitel, New York. That hotel is at 44th Street near Times Square. Imagine you are looking at the Chrysler building. Insane upgrade, right? They let me check in at 9 a.m.
There you go.
In Singapore, I have been once denied, even though there was a room available, I would have been denied early check-in. हुआ है मेरे साथ Grand Mercure में. And hence, it's not always about Southeast Asia being better. I think it's just how the culture is. Again, like I said, it seems expensive, but when I looked at my booking, I got a daily $30 food credit that I can use for dining. Almost every day, my dining was free in the night. Right, so whatever that extra I paid looks like worth it to me. So I paid some 66,000 for 4 nights in New York, Sofitel, Times Square. Matlab, it's insane. Right, so I personally, same thing happened with Fairmont, got upgraded to a full suite. Same thing happened in Philadelphia, got upgraded to a suite. Miami, I think it was Valentine's Day when I was there. So the hotel was full.
किसके साथ बना रहे थे?
अकेला गया था यार.
नहीं, अब समझ में आ रहा है. एक मिनट, अब समझ में आ रहा है कि मैं वही सोच रहा हूँ वैलेंटाइंस डे के लिए वहाँ जा रहा है, यहाँ का क्या सीन है. अब बोल रहा है स्वीट में था, अब बोल रहा है कि हाँ फिलाडेल्फिया में था.
Vegas to Miami.
This time I couldn't go to
upgrade
Vegas.
also.
I hope Tashi is watching this episode. Tashi, if you're not.
Tashi, if you're watching, he's Narad Muni, don't trust him. But coming back to the point, my flight was at 11:30 in the night from Miami. Again, I was very excited. Q suite tha, so I wanted to kind of reach airport as soon as possible. But 11:30 ko tha. So the guys were apologizing to me, even though they give me a 4 p.m. late checkout. It's like, sir, we would have probably given you 7 p.m. also had we not had this special day or event today. Crazy, right? I mean, I have not seen this kind of flexing of rules even in Southeast Asia and India. Has it ever been offered a 7 p.m. checkout? I don't think so in India. Like मेरे साथ तो नहीं हुआ है. तो
I had one experience.
6 p.m. Golfshire.
Marriott, Accor की बात कर रहा हूँ.
हाँ, Accor.
It's not happened with me. So I feel that the narrative needs to be mindful of the narrative because I think it's about the culture of the country itself rather than, so sorry.
I mean, I have had a similar experience, but again in Southeast Asia, in Sofitel, Bangkok, Sukhumvit. So I checked in quite early, around 9 o'clock. They gave us the room, and there was another couple friend with us. So 4 of us were traveling. So then we had a flight around, I think, it was around 9:30 in the night, but then they allowed us. I mean, they said you can be in the lounge and all, but the other couple was traveling. They didn't have status, so I asked them, can we give us the room instead? So then they can be also there. We can chill in the room for some time, and then they let us be there till 7 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah,
and
nice.
so this was
Lovely.
like a 3-day or 2-night trip, but we did early check-in as well as late check-out. So, and it was like 9 a.m. check-in, 7 p.m. check-out, and in Sofitel, and so.
Absolutely.
So it's
Awesome.
great. Yes.
Cool. Now let's come to your origin story with cards. When did this obsession begin? How did it happen? Which was your first card? And how you built your stack over the years? And then what does it look like today?
Right, Aadil. I mean, it started around 2012. So 2012, I got a card which was, I have been banking with HDFC for a long time. So HDFC offered me a card. It was called Doctor's Superia, if I'm not wrong. So, and they launched it on the Doctor's Day in 2012, and they said, okay, this is a credit card. And I was not into much credit card those time at all. So then they gave that card, and then within few months, we moved to Regalia. There was no Regalia Gold that time, so it was just Regalia. So then Regalia, then got DCB, or Diners Black, the plastic one. And that's when, and then I had the Axis Vistara along on the side.
Has to be one of the most OG cards ever.
So then your DCB had great redemptions, your some crazy Marks and Spencer redemptions and all. Then
Oh yeah. 45x.
Yeah, so then I realized there were like, I don't know whether we can call it a loophole, but there were some pockets like that of great redemption options. So that's when it started. Then Infinia those days was not that difficult, even if you had a good limit. And there was a standard protocol kind of thing that this is this if you match they will give you. So then 2016 I think got Infinia. And I had the Infinia DCB plastic together for a long time.
Oh really?
So, yeah. I had a
ये भी होता है क्या?
Yeah.
I've never heard of Infinia plastic and metal.
So DCB, what happened was DCB, I had a big limit. And then they said you can take both, but you will have the shared limit. So
No, you're saying Infinia plastic and Infinia
and DCB plastic.
Oh,
both.
DCB. I thought Infinia plastic and Infinia metal. Sorry, I got confused.
Infinia plastic and DCB plastic both together. Then eventually I think moved to Infinia metal when they launched, combined the credit limits, closed DCB. And that's the Infinia part. Then on the side, we got the Axis, Atlas, and Magnus for Burgundy. Luckily, 2023, I think November, got Burgundy and became a lifetime free, that Magnus for Burgundy. In end of 2023, I think it was. And
So tell me, how many cards do you have? Like,
I use mostly now Infinia, Magnus for Burgundy, Atlas, and Premier.
Okay,
And
that's a primary four
Those
standard.
are the primary
Perfect.
cards. And then I have a few other cards, like EPM, mostly for FOMO I got it, but I'm not using it now. And then some small other cards. Other cards I have.
You have DBS Vantage.
Yeah, I do.
Why do you have DBS Vantage?
ये हाँ मतलब यार DBS Vantage बताओ.
No, we genuinely want to know.
Yeah, so the DBS Vantage, when they launched, I knew I had a relationship with DBS. The guy was with HDFC, he moved to DBS and he said, "Ye le lo, sir, this is also a good card. We are not offering many people, and try it out at least and all that. I will waive you the fees and all that," he said. So then I find then, the best thing about DBS I still have it because there's no zero exclusions other than fuel.
What is the reward rate?
So in India it is 2%, and in 2 points, which is 1:1, 1 point is 1 rupee, and it's international is 4, and in Singapore 0 Forex. And there are some milestones as well.
Because it's a Singapore company, that's why it's zero Forex.
Zero Forex in Singapore, and plus there are some milestones as well. So if you spend quarterly, I think 5 lakhs, you get 10,000 points.
Oh, right.
So if you add up obviously the points
3-4% type reward rate आ जाता होगा.
3-4 के बीच आ जाता है. And then obviously you have ITC, Air India.
एक बंदे का एंटीना
नहीं भाई
मेरे को लग रहा है टैक्स पेमेंट्स लोडिंग डिस्कॉर्ड में काफी चर्चे हो रहे हैं आजकल धीमंत की टैक्स स्ट्रेटजी के तो
There are a lot of vouchers, and 5:4 transfer to Air India, ITC, and some other.
None of the airlines?
Air India only.
Only Air India.
Only Air India, and ITC is there. Air Asia is there, I think, but I've never used it. So, but that's not redemption.
Got it.
No, but let's also come to something else.
Yeah.
Like Dhimant, of course, is Tier 1 Indigo. You are Tier 2 Indigo.
Yeah,
How did this happen?
Yeah, I have a lot of domestic travel in Indigo. I mean, I don't hate the airline for domestic travel as such. I mean, I like because they are usually on time, and I have my expectations from Indigo, and they meet those at least within.
This is the only airline जहाँ पे tier 3 people love it, tier 2 people love it little, tier 1 people love it the least. उल्टा है.
Yeah, so it's rare. I mean, it's almost tier 1 now, I think, in Indigo, but and the Swiggy, some points it keeps coming. I've linked it, but
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
I get like 3 points when I order some food.
Some order food, but
Or 3 points, 4 points, 12
to be
points.
fair, I've never used any of those points. And only thing I think they give a little discount if you book the Prime or those fast tracks and seats and all that. I think. Yeah.
But your preferred airline, I'm assuming, is wherever you want to go first is Air India domestically, right?
Domestic it is Air India, but problem out of Bangalore is Mumbai. I mean Delhi, Mumbai, छोड़ के तो it's very difficult. So I do a lot of. Air India
I know somebody who was flexing his Indigo pass also sometime back to me. कि Dhimant your favorite airline. तो अभी कहाँ गए थे Indigo लेके? You went somewhere, ना? थोड़ा कुछ फ्लेक्स मार रहे थे इंडिगो का बोर्डिंग पास आपके फोटो दिखा रहे
फ्लेक्स
थे
नहीं मार रहा था
मजबूरी
मैं
थी।
श्रीलंका जाके आया और दूसरी कोई फ्लाइट थी नहीं
हाँ,
ऑफ कोर्स
हाँ,
देयर इज
हाँ।
श्रीलंकन
अच्छा।
बट मेरा टाइम नहीं जम रहा था तो आई मेट यू दैट डे इन अ कैफे एंड आई ओपनड माय बैग टू गेट माय लैपटॉप एंड देयर इज माय इंडिगो बोर्डिंग पास मैं बोला सर के सामने रखते हैं टायर 1 नंबर हम
ऐसा एमिरेट्स के पास इधर इधर जेब में घूमते हैं लेके और इंडिगो के पास बैग में अंदर छुपा के
देखो एमिरेट्स में वो फील आती है ये नहीं it was a 1 hour flight so it doesn't really matter cool let's talk about another story what is the story about sighting polar bears in the Arctic Circle let's
Right, yeah.
talk a little bit about that
That was also one of great experiences from the wildlife perspective. So this is when last year to place. I mean, we flew from Bangalore to Oslo, again Emirates, and the same situation. I mean, I'm just repeating. Oslo, Bangalore got up. I mean, points.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this Dubai section got upgraded, and Dubai to Oslo is using points. And then from Oslo, you have a SAS flight to a city called Longyearbyen in Svalbard. So that is one of the northernmost inhabited, I mean, throughout the year inhabited city of the world.
Yeah.
It's around 80 degrees north, 79 points, some minutes, if I'm not wrong. So there, then we board a ship, and on the ship for 8 days, 8 nights.
8 nights
Yeah, because it's quite far. So we went almost up to 84 degrees north. Whoa. So the idea was to you see a lot of polar bears on like those islands in Svalbard as well from the boat. But our idea was to see it on sea ice, which is like floating sea ice. So on sea ice, you have to go really up north because then that's where the sea ice starts. So we go there and they park the ship. It is, and then they have a very strong sense of smell. So the bears usually come and to check out what is this because we're carrying a lot of food for like we had 12 people and 10 crew, so almost more than 20 people in the ship with food and all. So they smell and come, and then we can see it up close from the ship deck, like literally polar bears around 20-30 feet away. And
So, लेकिन एक बात बताओ, like I've heard this, and again I'm not an expert at all, so I don't know if what I read is right. I read that polar bears are one of the most dangerous animals on the planet.
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, obviously there are people who are professional guides and they know they've been doing this for years, and it's a seasonal thing. So June to September, so they do out these cruise, small boats. They have big boats depending on what kind of a trip you want. But yeah, it's a once in a lifetime experience for me for sure.
So now that you've spoken about wildlife, I just want to ask one question which a lot of audience would want to know.
Right.
Like these days, there's a lot of talk about Masai Mara.
Right.
Aadil is going to Masai Mara this year for sure. I may go.
Right.
If somebody wants to experience their first real good wildlife safari,
Right.
what is the best option? Is Masai Mara because of the availability of hotels and resorts the best one? Because somebody also spoke about Serengeti, for example.
Serengeti,
So which is the first one that people can go? And like, what is your recommendation?
Yeah, obviously, if Masai Mara, I mean, to see sighting-wise and not come back disappointed if you have a short time frame, it is great because it's open grasslands, savannas, and you can see a lot of stuff. For every day, you can see a lot of stuff. Little bit over the years, it has become commercial, and they have radios, there's crowding of vehicles in one place.
Correct.
Whenever there's a sighting and all that. But living aside, if you just want guaranteed that I want to see a leopard, a group of a pride of lions and elephants, and in one short trip, that is obviously
Masai Mara.
Masai Mara, yeah. And I mean, Serengeti is also amazing, but it's much bigger actually. Even though it may sound similar kind of terrain, but different season and much bigger and much spread out. So if you have time, Serengeti is also great.
Time when you say, like, for example, what is as per you, what is the ideal time in Masai Mara?
Ideally, I mean, you need to spend at least 4 nights.
4 nights.
4 nights, yeah.
And what about Serengeti if you're there?
Serengeti, I would say better if you spend a week and you do bush camp experiences. So those experiences are also very good. Instead of just staying in a hotel, there are a lot of bush camp. I mean, obviously you cannot redeem points and all that,
100%.
but those experiences are also amazing because there are a lot of bush camps which have come up and they have water holes right next to the bush camp, so you can see animals just from the moment you wake up. You don't even have to go out in the safari vehicle.
But a lot of people are going to Masai Mara obviously because the Accor redemptions,
Obviously,
right?
yeah,
So how much are these, whatever options are there available, the camps that you're talking about or those places, are they like really expensive, or like how much does one pay for this? And
It is there. I mean, again, depends on the kind of service. Most of them are full board. So once you go there, everything is already paid for. And
including the safari experience?
No, safari has some extra permits and all. But obviously, they will do a bulk deal. Depends on the number of people you are going, the group size, and you negotiate for there are small camps where you can book the whole place. Suppose there are like 8-10 of you going, and then it works out much cheaper. So, and it's obviously very dynamic because depending on your season, it's a very seasonal thing. If you go during migration, August, July time is very expensive.
Like, give me like ballpark, no? Like, kitna expensive? Because like that's where I think the main decision point is for people. Can I leave my Accor redemption to experience something different? Like, how much am I paying for it? Like that, because see, ऐसा नहीं है कि Accor का points waste होने वाला है. हम कहीं ना कहीं तो use कर ही लेंगे उसको.
That is
But
for sure.
that's been one question that's running on my head. I'm sure a lot of people are thinking about this question as well.
Yeah, so it's around, I think, if I'm not wrong, starts around 35 to 40K a night. You get decent accommodation, and for again it goes a limit. I mean, depending on kind of experience you are looking for. If it's a very small,
There's no upper cap, is basically.
yeah, there's no upper cap because there are some especially in Serengeti, there are some bush camps which are right in the middle hotspots. So then your travel is cut down a lot.
Correct, yeah.
So then you pay premium for that. So
What about have you
location,
stayed?
location, yeah.
Have you paid for? Have you tried any of the Bonvoy properties in?
No, I have not. I have been there, Mara, a couple of times, but I have stayed in the Mara Sarovar and some other hotels. I have not done redemptions in Africa as such.
Got it.
Other than
I think the other thing that people can do, if you don't have status or you don't have Accor points, my simple recommendation is you have your iShop points, use your Smart Buy points, book wherever you want, burn 70% or burn 100% and finish the whole thing. So you get 1 rupee a point and it's just more value for you because for those of you who have iShop, we don't have a lot of transfer partners, right? This is a great use case of booking.
In fact, उल्टा भी देख सकते हो ना, आप HSBC Premier और ICICI आप points भी earn कर सकते हो. Crazy
In
amount of
case
points.
you want to burn,
Agreed, yeah.
earning के लिए तो enough
It's a
and
heaven,
more
मतलब,
travel.
yeah, Forex, you earn a lot depending on your choice of card for Forex.
I mean, think about HSBC Premier today, यार. अगर आप HSBC Premier पे spend करोगे,
36 into 2.
36 into 2 plus आपका almost zero Forex offer चल रहा है. Like
So they keep renewing their offer often. Yeah.
I think one of the things that has struck me about points and miles enthusiast, and I think people ask me, right, आप इतने nerdy क्यों हो? I think a lot of my experiences you write off in life because you feel it's too expensive.
Yeah.
So, for example, one of the reasons why Lapland keeps moving out of my list is that it's too expensive. But then suddenly you see कि यार मारा मेरे list में ऊपर आ गया because of points and miles, or Serengeti will come because now you're sitting on a decent amount of Marriott points. That is an amazing way to think about points and miles. It enables things that otherwise would get deprioritized. You know, otherwise you'll end up going Thailand हर बार या सिंगापुर हर बार.
आपकी भावनाएं समझ रहा हूँ मैं. वैलेंटाइंस की बात कर लो, फिर धीरे से थाईलैंड को आ जाओ.
My idea has been like the destination is more important than that percentage of redemption you can do. I mean, you need not be targeting 100% redemption for each and every trip.
100%.
So even if you make it cheaper in some way, be it the airline or the stay, to some part of it, I think even that is fine. Yeah.
Let's talk about your Accor Diamond status. Now, a lot of people will be curious, like, how did you get your Accor Diamond status? How long did it take? What are the steps that you followed?
Right. So Accor Gold, as Dhimant already said, it's quite easy, with straightforward procedure. So, I mean, you Accor plus the Explorer and you get it. And then I had, in 1 year, we had a lot of spends on Accor. We had organized the meeting, the meeting planner.
Accor meeting planner. Okay.
So we had some medical,
That's
CMEs,
a great way to
conferences.
manage it,
Yeah.
That gave us a lot of status points. And then I had a couple of Europe trips where I did some revenue as well in Europe. And so I think, the status. I mean, it was eventually touch and go. I mean, it was like.
But did you also get the Brazilian program to fast track to platinum? Or
No,
the China
I
program?
didn't. I didn't get any Brazil program.
So you bought. So what you're saying is, step one, you bought the Accor Plus.
Accor Plus,
You got to gold.
Gold.
And then you just did revenue stays.
Revenue
plus
stays.
Accor meeting
Plus
planner.
Accor meeting planner,
And
yeah.
the
Accor-
spend was significant, so you got to platinum and then diamond.
generically it went up to platinum. I was platinum for a year, and then
You became diamond last year or this
Last year.
So now it will be till this year, 2026.
This year 2026, and next year will be platinum. I think if I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I am pretty sure.
Yeah, they
this
have a
year
soft
won't.
landing, so they will
Yeah.
make you platinum.
So what's the redemption plan this year to juice time?
Yeah, that's been. I mean, the thing is, I want to go some places. Let's see what works out. I have planned to go to Chile and Argentina. So I'm not really researched Accor availability or in those areas as such. And otherwise, obviously, the European Grand Prix, that what I said, Dusseldorf and Cologne, and those are Accor
Doc,
redemptions.
what I'm curious about is how many holidays do you get? Yeah?
Normally, by the way,
लोग मेरे को पूछते हैं,
Yeah.
but listening to his polar bear story, and you have to go on a ship for 8 days,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, the travel time to get there, and then the F1 experiences, and then he also has other experiences.
Yes.
So, realistically,
realistically, I mean, it's the thing is, I work almost every day when I'm in Bangalore. There's no Sunday, no Saturday, no holiday.
And you work for the emergency.
Yeah, so we
care.
have
Critical care.
critical care. So we have, then you can accumulate basically hours.
Got it,
So
got
it
it,
works
got
out
it.
like that. So I just bunch up time and then take it whenever I can. So
all right, let's come to our rapid fire. Let's try and do this fun segment. I'll ask questions to you first, and then we can go to Dhimant.
sure.
All right, Doc, best redemption you've ever made.
I think Accor, Fairmont, Singapore.
What did you particularly like about it?
I mean, the service, the upgrade, the room, the view, everything was good. I mean, Southeast Asia, obviously. like I
Location is
said,
fantastic too,
Location
right?
is also
Yeah.
fantastic. You can walk everywhere.
on Raffles
Yeah,
Station.
right
Yeah.
on Raffles. Yeah.
Cool. The one card you'd keep if you could keep only one.
Magnus Burgundy.
I think that's like a no-brainer today, right? Matlab, there is no card,
Till it lasts,
particularly if you're a
yeah.
high spender, there's no card other than that.
100%.
Probably. I mean, I will keep Infinia as well, but if it is just one, then Magnus Burgundy.
ये बहुत ही trending
Speaking
topic
about
है.
Infinia,
Yeah, trending
speaking
topic.
about Infinia, are you on track to spend 18 lakhs this year?
Not really sure, but I have a good relationship with HDFC over a long time, so
that shouldn't be a problem.
Should be a problem, yeah.
Objection overruled. Cool. So, Infinia or Atlas, if you had to give up one tomorrow, which one will you give up?
Infinia or Atlas? Atlas.
Hard decision.
Yeah,
Very
it's
hard
difficult.
decision. It's a tough
yeah.
call, right?
Just because of the exclusions, I think.
Yeah.
100%.
Most underrated loyalty program in India that people sleep on.
Underrated. Nothing is coming to mind as such.
Whatever is
Emirates
the
बोल दो.
most
ITC actually, I think ITC
this is a great answer.
A lot of
Great
ITC people don't use it, but ITC has good properties in India. I mean, obviously, and they have good properties and a lot of Marriott tie-ups and a lot of good redemption options in ITC. Yeah. And obviously, with the status match going on now, it's even better.
Plus, there is a offer running right now where you can, if you buy the Culinaire, you can use some of the vouchers directly for the Goa and properties at one per night.
क्या है बताओ?
So basically, the Culinaire free nights. You have to use 2 nights for booking Grand
Correct.
Bharat and
Correct.
the Goa one.
Yeah.
They are running an offer where you can use it one
And you have
for
group,
one night.
I mean, you have
directly
group,
one.
You have group
तो
B.
latest news है.
You have group B as well, right? So
This is a good one. Okay. One mistake new points collectors make that you wish somebody had told you earlier.
Yeah, I think chasing each and every card, I mean, FOMO is the biggest. I made that mistake a lot of times. So, yeah, probably that. Yeah. You need just 2-3 good cards and just stick to that. And even loyalty-wise, just stick to few programs. Don't go around doing status matches if you don't have plans to use them. So that's about it. Yeah.
If you could do any trip purely on points, no cash, what would it be?
Maybe some North America trip with Marriott and Emirates.
Best F1 circuit you've been to?
Austria, Red Bull Ring.
Last question. You describe your philosophy as experience first, cost optimization second. For someone who's just starting out with points and miles, someone who has 1 or 2 cards and doesn't know where to begin, what's your advice?
I think currently, start with Accor and maybe a Marriott Bonvoy for the hotels. And obviously, airline is a little tricky to begin with. I mean, but yeah, HDFC Regalia, even if though the value is not great, because HDFC always, the path is good. So you have something that you can look forward to, that eventually you may get upgraded or you get a better card. So start off early with HDFC and one of the bigger banks, instead of chasing small banks for some awards which can be devalued anytime.
Perfect.
Sounds good. That's your rapid fire.
Thank you.
Let's come to Dhimant. Dhimant, best redemption you've ever made?
Has to be between Mandapa and Swiss Hotel Singapore for the F1.
Ek choose karo.
Mandapa. So it's Mandapa.
Worst redemption? The one that still hurts?
Worst redemption, I would say burning point for buying a toaster. Can't beat
We all do that,
that.
yeah.
Can't beat that.
Can you believe it? I have burnt Emirates points to buy a toaster. इससे लो क्या हो सकता है?
I have done statement credit for MX and all. I
Same
guess.
thing.
I've never
25
done
paisa.
statement
Oh, it is
credits.
horrible.
2013,
Long back is to do, yeah.
2013, 25 paisa. I burnt 50,000 Amex points to get 12,500 rupees credit, and I thought I
But
was
he was
the
very happy
smartest guy on
that,
earth. But
Yeah, but if you were to ask me the same question about miles redemptions, I would say the biggest mistake I would make, and a lot of people are still making it, is transferring without a plan. I think that's
for
the
sure.
number one mistake outside the toasters mistake.
for sure. The one card you'd still keep if you could keep only one.
Magnus Burgundy.
Infinia Atlas. Which one would you give up?
Atlas.
But this year it looks different for you. You might not keep the Infinia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Atlas. I'll choose Atlas. You said keep, right?
Give up.
Oh, give up. I would give the Infinia up. Largely because it's just a voucher card for me. So that's why I don't use it for anything else except for vouchers.
Okay. Most underrated loyalty program in India?
I would say most underrated loyalty program in India, my answer would have been Bonvoy. But if I have to take Bonvoy out, I would say Air India. Like Air India is still a very, very powerful program if you know how to use it.
Yeah.
One mistake new points collectors make that you wish someone had told you earlier?
Hoarding points. Hoarding points. Number one mistake.
If you could do any trip purely on points, no cash, what would it be?
I would probably do Scandinavia, living in that igloo experience, because मुझे पता है वहाँ पे redemptions वैसे भी काम नहीं आएगा, तो I would do that on point on money revenue.
Makes sense. Best F1 circuit you've been to?
Yeah, Singapore. Like I love the Singapore circuit.
Last one. What's your advice to someone who has no credit cards today? Someone, let's say 22, 23, first job, just starting to get out in the points and miles circuit. Which are the first 2 cards you think they should get?
I think you should go for any card that allows transfer 1:1 and has their own booking website like Smart Buy. So today I think there are few options available, which is HDFC Smart Buy, ICICI iShop, there is Unbox Kotak, there is IDFC ka, I think there is a similar portal. So all of these you can start. I think that's a great starting point. I mean, don't overcomplicate it by saying ki miles partner kahan hai, kahan nahi hai. Start with that and you will be happy. You will understand the true power of how powerful your points can be.
Yeah.
₹1 guaranteed milega.
Perfect.
That's my recommendation. Cool. Let's start with your rapid fire, Aadil. Best redemption you ever made?
Emirates first class.
Show off.
अरे तुमने ही पूछा ये उंगली और मंडपा शो ऑफ नहीं था हाँ?
मैं बोला बिटवीन सिंगापुर
अच्छा सिंगापुर एयरलाइंस F1 में शो ऑफ नहीं था ये डबल स्टैंडर्ड्स कहाँ से आ गए भाई just because we don't go to Amsterdam just because we don't go to Thailand
Miami now.
Imagine अच्छा आप बताओ सौरव let's compare the
just
number of
because
people
we don't do window shopping
let's do one thing let's compare how many people you think
Voucher नहीं मिलते वहाँ पे
रुको let's imagine how many people you think would have done Emirates first class versus a Singapore F1 redemption like Emirates first class is crazy
matter?
अरे redemption on Emirates first class is crazy sir like it's insane
ऐसा कुछ चलो आगे
Next one. The one card you would keep if you could keep only one, no thinking, and tell me anything apart from Magnus Burgundy.
अरे यार ये ट्रिक क्वेश्चन है ये ट्रिक क्वेश्चन है
बताओ छोड़ के anything except Magnus
Infinia.
Burgundy. You would keep Infinia.
because I'm a huge voucher guy no
But voucher के limits तो कम हो रहे हैं मतलब कम हो गए हैं
कहाँ मेरे को स्विगी तो चाहिए मेरे को Amazon पे चाहिए मेरे को Zomato चाहिए मेरे को Zepto
transport partners are
चाहिए
also
मेरे को
good,
बिग बास्केट चाहिए और मेरे को 1:1 फिनेयर पे मिलता है मेरे को 1:1 फ्लाइंग ब्लू पे मिलता है मेरे को क्रिस फ्लायर लाइक यू नो आई एम अ क्रेजी यूजर ऑफ क्रिस फ्लायर तो अर्न अपॉर्चुनिटीज वहीं पे है मेरे लिए
That's the answer I didn't expect by the way like I thought you would probably say something else
फार्म इजी पे 10x है
Interesting Infinia or Atlas if you had to give up one tomorrow Atlas most underrated loyalty program in India that people sleep on
most underrated loyalty program I think is ITC
ITC. Okay, I think very similar point.
Yeah.
One mistake new points collector make that you wish somebody had told you to avoid.
Earn and burn. Always earn and burn. Never keep earning saying that I am waiting to collect 500,000 points, then I will do that grind trip. भाई नहीं अच्छा रिडेम्पशन आज दिख रहा है बुक कर लो मजे कर लो Simple.
Yeah, I actually for the largest period of time I used to feel very happy when I had 1 lakh 2 lakh points but after meeting Aadil that's one thing that's changed for me.
Yeah.
I don't believe in hoarding but at the same time I think that every time you say to yourself कि मेरा 5 lakh point पड़ा you should introspect saying कि why am I not using it?
Exactly.
Like where are the trips that because the trips make it memorable and not the points itself, right? Cool. If you could do one trip purely on points and no cash, what would it be?
Purely on points. Purely on points. Again, I think Etihad apartment was very good. वो वापस करना पड़ेगा.
You want to do that again? Okay, nice. Yeah. This time you don't have the SBI Etihad card, sir. अकेले जाना पड़ेगा.
वही तो सीन है ना. तो वो double points जमा करने पड़ेंगे अभी.
Perfect. That's it. Let's wrap up.
Cool. Alright guys, that's our wrap up on the episode with Dr. Saurav, whose handle on Discord is @Robbie Mahanta. If you're on Discord, you've seen his trip reports, you've been interacting with him, well, now you've seen him in the flesh. And we look forward to hearing a lot more of your escapades going forward.
Thank you
very
so much.
curious to see how 2026 Accor Diamond pans out for you.
Yes.
Very keen to see your F1 experiences. We look forward to your trip reports on Discord.
Definitely.
And then all those epic experiences that you are planning, particularly with wildlife, please keep us posted. There are a lot of us, all 800 of us who are on Discord, who are watching in the Great Indian Lounge and would love to do these redemptions. So
Definitely.
thanks so much for making
Thank you so
time. I
much.
know you
Thank
run
you
a
so much,
very
guys. Thank you so
hectic schedule.
No,
thanks
it's
for
my
taking care
pleasure.
of all the people in Bangalore with your critical care. We appreciate what you do.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. It's awesome to be here.
And आदरणीय धीमन जी शुक्रिया शो पे आने के लिए शुक्रिया आपका सैटरडे पे समय निकालने के लिए एंड वी लुक फॉरवर्ड टू कंटिन्यूइंग टू डू दिस सो विद दैट विल रैप इट अप इफ यू आर एंजॉयिंग दिस एपिसोड यार वो सब्सक्राइब का बटन है दबा दो ना यार काफी हमारे जो सब्सक्राइबर्स हैं हाँ तो what our data says 45% of you who watch the episodes haven't subscribed it यार 40 के ऊपर एपिसोड निकाल दिए which is a 1.5 hour plus. Please go ahead, like, please subscribe and join us for our discussions in the Great Indian Lounge. With that, this is Dhimant, Dr. Saurav and Aadil signing off from the Great Indian Points and Miles Show.